So this is the MSI GE66, and it hasn't really been talked about since its initial release back at CES 2020. This is an engineering sample, so I can't go too crazy into performance, but I can show you a couple of benchmarks on how fast this GPU performs. The build quality is better than the previous model. I find this feels a lot more solid to the touch. The only thing I don't like about it is the materials. Like, the front of it houses these new lights, these RGB lights, which MSI is calling Aura lights, and they span across the entire front. But the material they're using is a very soft plastic, and it just doesn't match the rest of the laptop. What they should have done was used a frosted glass or a frosted piece of plastic, which I think would blend in with the entire frame. The entire frame is plastic. I don't find there to be too much flex on the lid itself. Of course, you can open it up with one hand, and there's not a lot of flex on the keyboard. The port situation is also very interesting because not only do you have ports on the side of the laptop, you also have tons on the back. And you guys know how I feel about this. I'd rather have them on the back because it keeps the cables away from you. You have your power connector, which is a 280 watt power supply. You have an HDMI port, RJ45, USB Type-C. This one also acts as a display port. And you also have a mini display port. On the right-hand side, you have your USB port, SD card slot, another USB port, and on the opposite side, you have one more USB port, USB Type-C, and of course, your audio jack. Now, this does not have Thunderbolt 3, but because you can spec this all the way up to an RTX 2070 Super, I'd imagine not a lot of you would need to hook it up to an external GPU. So inside, this thing is absolutely stacked. Like, there's no room for anything. Like 6 heat pipes, 2 fans to cool the 10th gen Intel processor, NVIDIA RTX Super GPU. You have 2 slots for drives. You can leave it like this in RAID 0 configuration, or you can expand later for something bigger. You have 2 slots for RAM, configurable up to 64 gigabytes. And then, of course, a swappable Wi-Fi 6 card. This one is a killer card. But crazy enough, just like the GS66, MSI crammed in a 99 watt-hour battery. This is huge. So I'm hoping to get good battery life with this. Not that it matters today, considering we can't travel on planes and this is the legal limit, but the bigger the battery, the better for most people. Now, this display is 1080p and it's 15 inches. I will say this though, you can spec it anywhere from 144 Hertz, 240 Hertz, or all the way up to 300. I can't really talk about color accuracy because this panel is 60 and it's not something they're gonna sell, but I'm assuming it's just gonna be as good as the one in the MSI GS66. Now, one thing they're doing, which is awesome, is they're including a 1080p webcam. Like, I don't remember the last time I've reviewed a gaming laptop with a 1080p webcam. So if you're a streamer or a content creator, you can use this to stream and get pretty decent results. Now, sound on this is not great. 2 2-watt speakers on the bottom of the laptop. They don't get loud and they just don't sound good. You're gonna wanna use a gaming headset with this. The second thing, keyboard. It's not bad. Like, it's very comfortable and you can type on it quickly, but I do find it a bit mushy. Trackpad is made out of plastic. It's quite small and it's not as accurate as I'd like it to be. So an external mouse is definitely suggested. Now, performance, again, I can't show you gameplay, but what I can say though, based on my 3D Mark Firestrike test, that this GPU inside of here is beating out most 2080 Max Qs that I tested last year and the RTX 2070 Super that I tested a couple of weeks ago in my Gigabyte Aero 15 review. When they get the time to optimize it and have it ready for retail, I'm expecting the performance to be better than it already is. And that comes down to the crazy heating solution they have inside of here. I'm just expecting this laptop to run nice and fast and to run fairly cool. I can't talk about noise or heat management since this is not a retail unit, but what I can say, it's probably going to be loud. This is a gaming laptop at the end of the day. Now, I do want to say one thing. If you're considering this laptop, they sell an RTX 2080 Max Q version and an RTX 2070 Super version. My suggestion is whatever one is cheaper out of those two SKUs, go for that one because the 2080 Max Q and the 2070 Super are so similar in performance. So that basically wraps it up. If you have any questions for my full review, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll try to answer as many as possible. And if you need to get a hold of me, follow me on Twitch. I'm there every night streaming games. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.